Hello everybody, my name is Bibi Apampa. Today I'll be talking about making maximum impact in life. Making maximum impact in life. If you just go to www.makemaximumimpact.com, the book and everything that relates to everything I'm going to be sharing today has already been uploaded to that site. www.makemaximumimpact.com. Now, what does it mean to make maximum impact in life? Let us start by looking at the scripture, Genesis 27, verse 38 to 39. Genesis 27, 38 to 29. It's about a person we all know very well. His name was Esau. He was blessed, but he lacked wisdom, so he could not make maximum impact in life. And let me read Genesis 27, verse 38 to 39. 38. Esau said to his father, "Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, Lord, my father." Then Esau wept aloud. His father Isaac answered him, "Your dwelling will be away from the heart's richness, away from the dew of heaven above. You will live by the sword. You will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke from off your neck." I'm sure we all know the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau was the older brother. He was hardworking. He was always in the field. He was a hunter. But there were some things that just did not add up well. Meanwhile, Isaac, who was Jacob at that time, was an homeboy. He was always at home. But Isaac knew how to use the resources around him to get ahead. Now let us compare Jacob. It was Jacob at the time before he became Isaac. Let us compare Jacob with Esau. And we're talking about two nations, two people who dwell in you. Because we're talking about how do you make maximum impact in life. Esau people who have Esau mentality, they use physical strength to produce. They pursue one animal at a time. You agree that a hunter that is chasing two animals would not be able to catch any. They pursue one animal at a time. They kill what they hunt. A hunter that goes out and gets maybe bushmeat or he gets an antelope, he kills it to eat. That is an Esau mentality. Now let us now look at Jacob mentality. Jacob mentality is that of a cultivator. A cultivator uses ideas to produce, not physical strength. A cultivator uses several animals at the same time. What is several animals at the same time? A cultivator grows and multiplies what he has. Compare that to the hunter that kills what he has. Now, what else do you have about people who have a Jacob mentality, Jacob people? Everything they have a mentality because they multiply it. They don't kill, they don't destroy. They cultivate, they multiply. On the other hand, people with Jacob mentality, everything they have has only one life cycle. With somebody with an Jacob mentality, with a Esau mentality, he gets an animal, he kills it, sells it for food. Somebody with a Jacob mentality gets the animal, breeds the animal, multiplies it, and then it is the harvest that he now sells. But he still keeps part of what he has so that he can multiply. What are people with Esau mentality? They have much, but they focus on only one thing at a time, which they eventually kill. If you look at our country, Nigeria, for example, we have oil. But what do we do with the oil? We sell it off. Our refineries are not working. Those are Esau mentality. If you look at gold, we have gold in Nigeria. Do we have any gold industry? They found diamond up north. Do we have any diamond industry? So it only has one lifespan. What we do, we mine it and we sell it. But meanwhile, people who have Jacob mentality, they focus on many things at the same time. They don't think about, I only have oil, I have to sell off the oil to get revenue. They process the oil. They refine the oil. They get many things coming out of the same oil that we sell. And then they now sell back to us the finished product. Therefore, people with Jacob mentality focus on many things at the same time. They don't have much, but they use the ideas, they use the skills and strategies they have to multiply what they have. resulting in multiple income, multiple stream. The capital of the gold market in the world doesn't have gold as its natural resources. The capital, but they dictate the price of the raw materials. For instance, when we are talking about chocolate, we're talking about Swiss chocolates. They don't grow cocoa in Switzerland. They buy the raw products from us and then they sell it back to us as finished products. People with Jacob mentality, they take raw materials, they process the raw materials, they refine the raw materials, they add value to it, and then they sell it off to us who are giving them the raw materials. People with Esau mentality consume the finished product. They don't even ask, how is this thing being manufactured? The raw materials that they took away from us, how do we process it? Doesn't it challenge us that what we call African wax, we call them Hollandies, they're not even produced in Africa. They are sent back to us and we use them. So you look at Esau mentality, you look at Jacob mentality. And we're talking about how to make maximum impact in life. Now, what are the people with Esau mentality? Esau mentality, they sell the future. Esau came home from hunting. Probably did not catch any game that day. He was hungry. And he probably had always been asking Jacob for food. But this particular day when he came, Jacob told him, said, sell your future to me. Sell your birthright. And many of us, unfortunately, we end up selling our birthright because we have Esau mentality. But many of these things will change by God's grace from today. Sell your birthright to me. But what did Esau do? Esau despised his birthright because he could not look into the future. What is the use of birthright to me when I'm about to die? We all know that we cannot die because we do not eat a meal in a day. What can kill us is lack of water. So for one meal, he sold his birthright. And right now when we are talking, we talk about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We don't remember Esau because he sold his birthright. So people with Esau mentality, they sell their birthright. They sell the future. But people with Jacob mentality, they buy the future. They think ahead. They think generationally. If I take over the birthright, it means the blessings of the Father will rest upon me for my generations. Those are people with Esau mentality, Jacob mentality. Those people with Esau mentality, they use what they desire. They buy what they desire and sell what they have. Which means they buy the finished product. They see something, I want to eat now. I want the porridge now. He's not asking himself, how did Jacob, who did not leave the house, how was he able to have porridge to eat? When I, that am the author, that I go out, I come home and I'm hungry and I have nothing left behind. You find that people with Jacob mentality, they invest today's seed to acquire tomorrow's harvest. Just in my mind, I'm thinking that maybe one day Esau came home from being an hunter and he comes home with a pregnant sheep, pregnant animal. In my head, I didn't say it's in the Bible, please. And in all religions, in all customs and traditions, people don't kill pregnant animals because you are looking into the future that this pregnant animal is going to give birth. So probably would come home and is upset that, oh, with all his eyes hunting, all he came back with was a pregnant animal. Maybe Jacob took that pregnant animal and said, oh, please give it to me, give it to me. You know, I'm at home, I love the animal. And maybe he was an animal lover. Maybe Esau just gave it to me and said, what use is it to me? I can't kill it, I can't eat it, so you might as well have it. So in my head, I'm thinking, maybe that was where Jacob was able to get meat. Because the game that Esau brought that was pregnant, gave it to Jacob. Jacob nursed it, gave birth to all the animals, and was able to build from the house without leaving the house. Why do I say that? The father did not know the difference between the meat that was from the bush and the meat that was prepared in the house. And we're looking at Jacob mentality and Esau mentality, because we are looking at how do I make maximum impact in life. What are the other things people who have Jacob mentality, what do? They value their birthright. They appreciate it. They grow it. They buy it cheap. They add value. They process it and then they sell it high. They buy it cheap. They add value. They process it and they sell high. Isn't that what's happening to many of us in Africa? We sell what we have. And we sell to people who add value to it, who process it, and then who sell it back to us. But you find out that people with Esau mentality, they live in the now. There's a new phone, I must have that new phone. There's an upgrade, I must have that upgrade. There's a new year version of the car they're using, they must have that new version. They are not asking, how did these people develop from one version to another that makes them want to buy the new version? Meanwhile, I keep selling them the raw products. People with Jacob mentality, they use ideas, they use strategies, they employ the best hands and experts. Let's look at Jacob. When he needed to prepare food for his father to receive the blessing, who else is the best person to prepare the food if not his mother, who had always prepared his father's food? So in a way, he employed the best hand, and his father could not know the difference. Meanwhile, Esau goes hunting every day. And when it was time for his father to bless him, he did not have anything to present to the father. He had to go back into the bush to hunt again. And by the time he brought the game home, Jacob had received the blessing. Many of us are like that kind of Esau mentality. When we tell you to save, many people don't save because they feel, oh, what I have is not even enough. So how can I have a leftover? How can I use what I have as a reserve, that will give me generational blessing? So that's what of this we want to discuss today. How to make maximum impact in life. So that every area where we have the Esau mentality, we drop it off. And we pick on the Jacob mentality, a Jacob mentality that looks into the future, that buys into the future, that uses strategies, that uses skills, that employs the best hands, that sees what needs to be done in the future. What are the promises we have in the Bible for us to enable us to make maximum impact in life? I'll read from Luke 12:32. And that says, "Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. But you must be ready to receive that kingdom that God has promised you." And Esau's spirit would not be able to receive the blessings, the kingdom that God wants, our Father wants to give him. Matthew 16:19 says, "I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." And Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you." But in seeking first the kingdom of God, remember the Bible tells us that with all our getting, get wisdom. Because wisdom is the principal thing. It is wisdom that will help you to create wealth. It is wisdom that will give you good health. It is wisdom that will show you the right steps to take. It is wisdom that God will use to teach you to create wealth and to make money and to have profit. Now, if you look in the life of King Solomon had a blank check. He had given God an offering that really impressed God. And God told him, he said, "Ask whatever you want, and I'll give it to you." That's in 2 Chronicles 1:7. And Solomon asked for just one thing. He did not ask for riches. He did not ask for the life of his enemies. He did not ask to conquer. He just said, give me wisdom and knowledge that I may lead these people, for who is able to govern these great people of yours? Wisdom is the principal thing. So I just said the first we need to ask for is wisdom. Now, some of us might not have been given a blank check like Solomon. But there's somebody else in the Bible that's always challenged me. His name is Jabez. Jabez was somebody that was born in sorrow. We're told that his mother named him Jabez, it means sorrow. People can have been going through something difficult, a difficult period in her life. But if you look at that prayer of Jabez in 1 Chronicles 4:10, and something I'd like to really happen tonight, even as I'm going on to teach about how to make maximum impact in life. It says, oh, that you bless me indeed. Enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. That is a particular verse that has really ministered to me, especially at a period in my life when I was going through challenges and I couldn't understand what was going on. And then I kept on saying this Jabez prayer over and over and over again. And let us look at that Jabez prayer and break it down. He said, oh, that you bless me indeed. He was asking God for greater success. I don't know about you today. Do you need greater success in your life? He said that you would bless me indeed, enlarge my territory. He was asking for greater influence. I just don't want to be a local champion. I need to be a national champion, a continental champion, an international champion, a global champion, moving from one level, one step to another. He said, oh, that you bless me indeed, enlarge my territory. Give me greater influence, Lord. That your hand would be with me. You know, the hand of God on you is power. Having the hand of God upon you is like you're an extension of God. With God enabling you to do greater things for him, greater power, the hand of the Lord being upon you. That your hand will be with me and that will keep me from evil. He was asking for divine protection. That I may not cause pain. He was asking for peace. Peace from the Lord. Peace that passes all understanding. That I may not cause pain. And he was asking that. And Bible tells us that God heard and granted his request. So he had the presence of God. He knew how to approach God to get what he needed from God. He had been born in sorrow. Everybody looked at him. Imagine being called, sorrow, come here. Sorrow, go there. Even that alone must have mapped his life and really truncated many things in his life. I can imagine a mother, a child telling his mother, oh, I want to bring my friend home. And says, what's your friend's name? And say sorrow. Mother probably said, don't bring sorrow into my house. But that was the kind of life, the name that Gabriel had. But because he was able to reach out to God, he was able to turn his life around and make maximum impact. And God answered his prayers. So how do you make maximum impact in life? We've looked at people in the Bible. We've looked at Jabez. We've looked at Esau. We've looked at Jacob. How do you, in this year, make maximum impact in life? As I said, everything I'm teaching today, you can go to my website, www.makemaximumimpactinlife. The book is available there, so you can have the book, and you can also you can download this teaching on that site as well. The challenges we face in life are in 3 areas: in our health, wealth, and relationships. There's hardly any problem or any challenge that you have that cannot be divided into these 3 areas. So we're looking at making maximum impact in life. We have to look at how can we live a life that would make us stronger, that will make us healthy, that will make us wealthy, and will make us wise in our relationships. So when we talk about health, how do you maintain a healthy lifestyle so that you can achieve high levels of strength, fitness, and energy? In creating wealth, how do you achieve financial independence in your career, in your business, in your income generating activity? In our relationships, how do you grow your circle of influence
and you build empowering relationships that would recommend you, that would talk about it positively, that would raise a strong voice for you wherever your name, your business, your proposal, anything about you is mentioned. In making maximum impact in life, we need to set goals for these areas so that we can turn this vision of making maximum impact in life into reality. We need to learn how to grow empowering and develop empowering relationships. We need to live a life of gratitude. A life of gratitude. Start each day and end each day with gratitude. How can we achieve this? Being healthy, wealthy, wise, especially in our relationships. There are 3 powers that God has granted us. The first power is the power of the written word. The second power is the power of the spoken word. And the third power is power of the visual word. Let us look at all these 3 powers that we need to utilize in being able to live a life of maximum achievement, making maximum impact in life. Power of the written word. The Bible tells us that we should write the vision and go for our lives in the present tense. Write the vision, make it plain. That he that runneth, he that might read it, for the vision is for an appointed time. But say, wait for it, it will surely come. But instead it says, write the vision. So it's like a command. It's like something you need to take action, something like you need to do. Write the vision. Write your goals for your life. Write your lifetime goals, your 10-year goals, your 5-year goals, your 1-year goal, your 1-month goal, your to-do list, what you need to do, your goals for today. Write it out and make it plain. When you write it, it's been proven already that there's a link between your hand and your brain. When you write, you're giving it life. That is the power of the written word. The power that God has given unto us is the power of the spoken word, which means you verbalize your written down goals and vision. Write it about 2 times. The Bible tells me, says, whoever will say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and believe that what he says shall happen, it shall be granted him. This is the power of the spoken word. You have to say what you want to happen into your life. The Bible tells us, have you commanded the morning? You don't command the morning, command your day by keeping quiet. You speak life into what you want to happen to you. The power of that, you find out that everything that God created, He created it by the power of the spoken word. Let there be light, and there was light. Let the day be separated from the night. Let the earth bring forth. All these were done by the spoken word. And because we are in the image of God, we have this power inside of us as well. The power of the spoken word. The power that will create things. The Bible tells us that the power of the tongue sets on motion nature. Because we are ensnared by the words of our mouth. So what you don't want to happen to you, please don't say it. Because you have the power of God, the power that creates with the power of the mouth. The power of the spoken word. This one power is the power of the visual word. Creating a vision book or board or a book, incorporating your goals and dreams. I'll give 2 examples in the Bible. In the life of Abraham, when God promised him, He said, you're going to be a father of nations. And here was this man, almost 100 years old. He told God, he said, my wife is already old. How can I be a father of nations at this age? My son, my servant has given me the one that is going to inherit everything that I have. But you know what God told him? God took him out and said, look at the stars. If you can count the stars, that will be the number of your children. So every time Abraham went out at night, when he saw the stars, he had a visualization of the future. He had an image of what would happen in that. Since he cannot count the stars, that would be the number of his children. That is the power of the visual word. Another example
is in the life of Zerubbabel when he was going to build the temple. He encountered a lot, so many challenges. And he went to meet the prophet. And the prophet told him, he said, you have started this work. The hand of Zerubbabel has started this work. He will finish it. And he told him, he said, go and get the capstone. And keep on shouting, grace, grace, grace. Now, what is the capstone? The capstone is the last thing you put on top of the building of the temple when it is completed. And so when the prophet told him to go and get the capstone, he was like, see the finished work of the temple. Look at that capstone every time. Speak grace to it. Speak life to it. Grace, grace, grace. The power of the spoken word and the power of the visual word combined together. Because his hand started and he said, you will complete it. So in our lives, we need to imbibe these three powers that God has given unto us to help us make maximum impact in life. The power of the written word, the power of the spoken word, and the power of the visual word. Now, how do we move ahead when we've already recognized these powers? What are the things we need to do? We use these powers and empower ourselves with these powers. What are the other things we need to do to make maximum impact in life? The first thing is you need to find 3 activities that you love. What are these 3 activities? What are they supposed to do? The first activity is make you flourish, wealthy. The first activity is to make you flourish. We'll talk about creating wealth later as we go along. Making money, creating wealth, real estate, paper investment, starting your own business, online, small line ventures, becoming an expert. Then the second activity is to make you healthy and fit for life, which means we have to learn how to eat differently, act differently, think differently. We'll still look into that as well. And then the third activity we need to have is one that will make us to share our life, being a blessing to other people. By building empowering relationships, being a blessing to other people, by volunteering, by supporting your religious affiliations with your tithes, your offering, mentoring the younger generation, giving scholarship, all sorts. These are the 3 activities that we need to do, we need to have, that we need to imbibe into our lives to enable us to make maximum impact in life. Let's go through each of these activities one by one. The first activity, as we said, is to help you flourish. Our Bible tells me that invest in 7 ventures, knowing 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the earth. You find that in Ecclesiastes 11:2. So how do you become financially empowered so you can make maximum impact in life? Become financially empowered, there are 2 routes. Either go through investments or you go through business. 4 pillars of wealth when you're talking about investments and business. Real estate, portfolio investments, business enterprise, and then becoming an expert, author, speaker, coach, trainer, as an expert. Now let's go into wealth. We are talking about 3 activities. We want to make you flourish. You need to look at the different areas where you can create wealth. Look at some of my other videos. I teach a lot about how to create wealth. If you go to this same website, www.makemaximumimpact in life, just click on create wealth. You'll be able to see some videos and training on how to create wealth. We now talk about the second activity. Second activity is activities that will keep you healthy and fit for life. There are 7 pillars of health. Bible tells me that whatever you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. And in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, it said, do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from the Lord? You are not your own. You are bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. Which means this body that God gives you, you need to honor God with it. You need to keep it strong and healthy. Because if God is going to bless you financially, He's going to bless you with empowering relationships. If you don't have the physical health,
you would not be able to enjoy the financial wealth or the empowering wealth or relationships. So what is the first pillar of health? We were looking about the habits you need to imbibe to make maximum impact on life. The first one is water. Many of us don't drink enough water. It's important that you drink at least about 1.5 liters to 2 liters of water on a daily basis. This would help to cushion your bones. It will help your digestive system. It will help you to live a fresher life when you drink more water and less of chemicals. The next thing is sleep and rest. It's important for you in making maximum impacts in life for you to at least have about 6 hours of sleep daily. Your body needs to rest. Your body needs to relax and get to a point where your body feels rejuvenated to face the challenges on a daily basis. Living food is another pillar of health. As much as possible, eat what is a plant grown in the land than food processed in plants. What do I mean by that? Take more of natural food. Take more of food than natural grown food than processed food. It's very important. The fourth pillar of health is exercise. Learn to move your body. At least 30 minutes on a daily basis. Try to exercise your body. Because it's important for your body, for you to honor God with it so that you stay healthy in your body. Detoxification. From time to time, learn to fast. The funny thing about fasting is that it's like you are resetting your body. Because what you're trying to do is to let go of toxins and let go of the things that are not good in your body. By letting your body go off food and all sorts of chemicals for some time, while you take water to flush things out. So that way your body is rejuvenated. Learn to detox your body from time to time. Coping with stress as much as possible. Anybody that you consider to be a stressor in your life, please maintain a distance. Anything that is around you that causes you stress, as much as possible, let go of it. You don't need to live a stressful life. You need a life of joy, you need a life of happiness, you need a life of goodwill, not one of stress. Finally, supplements. The food we eat doesn't have all the nutrients that we need to live healthy. So as much as possible on a daily basis, please take your vitamins, take supplements that would keep your body strong. And especially as you're growing older, your bones get weaker. So there's a need to make sure you take things like vitamin D, that you take olive oil, cod liver oil that will make your bones stronger. Now the third aspect is how you share your life to make a meaning to other people. We are talking about 3 things that you need to do. Want to make you flourish, want to make you healthy and wealthy and fit, healthy and fit. And then the third aspect that we said, activity you need to incorporate into your life while you're trying to make maximum impact in life, is want to make you share your life. And this is in relationships. How do you build empowering relationships? How do you get more people into your circle of influence? So there's always a strong voice who would speak for you when your name, your business, your ministry is mentioned. So how do you get people into your circle of influence? The first thing you need to do is be friendly and a likable person. Somebody who is approachable. Somebody that people love being around. No matter where you are in life, there's always somebody. You're just 2 or 3 people away from your miracle person who can change things for you. If you look in the life of Naaman and the maid, Naaman must have been approachable, because the maid went to meet the wife and said, there's a prophet who can help to heal my master. You can imagine if the wife was not approachable, or if Naaman himself would not listen to a maid because he feels, I'm a general, what does a maid know? But that is because he was friendly, he was likable, he was approachable, he was able to get his miracle and was healed of leprosy. Secondly, learn to smile. Smile is a seed that you sow and almost immediately you get the harvest. I found out that many times when I enter a room, and the first person that I lock my eyes is, I just smile at that person. It's like it disarms that person, and we are able to just take off from there. So it's good to always smile. Don't always squeeze up your face. We're talking about making maximum impact in life. If people don't like you, it will be difficult for them to recommend you. So you need to have more and more people into your circle of influence. And so you need to learn to smile more. Smile, please. Learn to compliment people. Another way of getting people into your circle of influence is learning how to compliment people. There's always something good about a person, either the way they look, or the skill they have, or what they are saying, or what they are doing. Learn to compliment people. I found out many times that when I meet people for the first time, and I like compliment them, maybe about what they're wearing, I could say, oh, your suit really sits nice on you, or your tie really goes with your shirt, or if it's a lady, I love your hairstyle, oh, that your jewelry, it goes very good with what you're wearing. It's like, it just makes them all of a sudden open up to me. Everybody likes to feel good. Everybody likes people who make them feel good. So to get more people into your circle of influence, learn to compliment people. Another way is offer assistance. Never look at what is in need for me, but how can I be of assistance? How can I help you? You find out that when you offer to help, all of a sudden they feel they owe you something. And so they will end up speaking positively about you. So always offer assistance. Offer to serve. Bible tells me that whoever will make the greatest among you must be the servant of all. Learn to serve. It's while you are serving that God lifts you up, elevates you. And that way you get more and more, because the more you serve, the more people come into your circle of influence. Being humble. The Bible tells me that He hates a proud look. That is even without talking, just a proud look. God does not like it. So in humility shall your strength be. Learn to be humble. Learn to be content with what you have. Not being lazy. Don't mix the two. Godliness is being godly and contentment go hand in hand together. Now, those are things you can do to get more people into your circle of influence. Because the more people know you, the more people speak positively about you, the more people raise their voice in your support, the more you are able to make maximum impact in life. Now, Proverbs 13:20 tells me that he who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. Which means you need to have wise people in your circle of influence. And let me tell you, let's just look at the different types of people you need to have in your circle of influence so that you're able to make maximum impact in life. If you look at the life of David, I'll use David as an example. David had a mentor, Samuel. We all need mentors in our life. What do mentors do? Mentors change us. Mentors choose us for greater positions. Mentors anoint. Mentors announce you. There are places where I have gone that I don't know anybody. But because the mentor had announced me in advance, I am well received. I have mentors in different areas of my life. In business, there are people I look up to who, when I have a business challenge, I can look at, this is my mentor, I'll go and ask, what do you think I should do? In relationship, even in my health, there are people I look up to as mentors, even for my spiritual life. In the same vein, I mentor other people as well. So it's important for us to have a mentor in our life, like David, he had Samuel. I know many people don't agree with me, but he need enemies. Bible tells me that he said, he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Goliath was David's enemy. But do you realize without Goliath, David might not have gotten to the palace? What does the enemy do in your life?
The enemy will showcase your gifts, your talents. The enemy brings you out from obscurity into significance. It was Goliath that brought David out of obscurity into significance. So it's important that when you see somebody who sees himself as an enemy, don't tell the person to die. Just pray that verse in Psalm 23, that prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Pray for God to anoint you, to elevate you, to promote you. That's the good thing about having enemies. They keep you on your toes. They keep you active. They keep you focused. Now, another person that we need in our lives, like a thorn in the flesh. I know many of us don't like this, but this is the truth. These are the things that make maximum impact in life. Saul was a thorn in the flesh for David. But what Saul did for David was keep him focused, was keep him diligent, to remove complacency from his life. For him to hold on to the promise of God, to know that his time was coming. He had been anointed king. But here was Saul, the current king, wanting to kill him. And even when he had a chance to kill Saul, he did not. He said, I will not touch the anointed of the Lord. And he was running away from Saul, the thorn in his flesh, that he was able to raise vagabonds and turn them into violent men of war. So never ever look at, the thorns in your flesh, people who are troubling you, who are not giving you peace. See them as a stepping stone to rise higher to the maximum impact that God wants you to make in life. And then we need friends, good friends, to love, to care, to share, to trust. Jonathan was a good friend for David. Jonathan was the son of Saul, who under normal circumstances would have been the next king. But he knew that God had chosen David to be the next king, and he said, I would rule beside you, by your side. We need friends like that. Friends that we can trust, that we can share, we can love, that we can, that cares for us. We need friends, good friends. Then we need golden connections. There is no way, nobody is crowned king by himself. It's the elders that crowned David as king. So we need golden connections who will crown us, who will enthrone and lift us up. If you look at Nehemiah 4:14, he says, I looked things over. I stood and said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, say, don't be afraid of the enemy. Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome. Fight for your brothers. Fight for your sons. Fight for your daughters. Fight for your wives. Fight for your homes. It's important. We fight for the people around us who are going to be the ones who are going to empower so that we can make maximum impact in life. In conclusion, I always like to share stories because I found out that many times when people listen to the stories, they remember the stories and then they remember the lessons of whatever I've been teaching. And I'm going to talk about a young boy. This boy was on the beach, and the sea had washed some starfishes on the shore. And they would take a starfish and throw it back into the water. Go a little water, take another fish and throw it into the water, starfish. And then there was this elderly man that came around and said, look at the entire expanse of the sea, of the seashore. He said, why do you think you need to keep throwing them back? He said, you cannot succeed. Well, that's what the little boy did. The little boy looked down, picked up a starfish, and threw it into the water. And he said, I made a difference in the life of this one. Because of me, this one would live. Because of me, this one would grow. I am making maximum impact in the life of this one starfish. And he picked up another one and threw it back into the water. My challenge to you today, are you making maximum impact in your life? And if you're making maximum impact in your life, are you making maximum impact in the life of others? Are you touching others? Are you lifting others up? Are you empowering others? Are you making a difference in other people's lives? You cannot make maximum impact in life if your life does not affect the life of other people. If you don't share your life with other people, you cannot make maximum impact in life. That is my challenge. That is my word for you today. Rise up, make maximum impact in life. God bless you.